Well, welcome back. We're back at Berkeley Marine, and it's been about 6 weeks since I was here last, and we had discussions with the naval architect and developed a whole list of things that needed to get done to the boat. There have been a lot of emails, a lot of phone calls back and forth about what to do and how to do it and in what order. A lot of that work has been done, and we have a much more sound, stiffer boat today because of all the things that we've done and modified. Today is going to be an interesting discussion. We're going to review all that work that's been done with Cree Partridge, who owns the yard here, and we're going to talk about what they're going to do with the boat next to get the bottom finished. Controversial call about what to do is to flip the boat upside down, and I don't think Cree's ever done that. I've certainly never done it, so we're all learning from this, and this should be an interesting day. I guess the bottom is the big issue.
Yeah.
Tell me what your plan is here.
So, we haven't done this before.
Oh,
So,
but you're sure?
but I'm pretty sure that we can accomplish
Okay.
this.
And
No,
what are we doing?
Just joking. But we're gonna flip, since we have to replace this fiberglass
Right.
that's on the bottom that was
Yeah, it's blistered.
improperly bedded here, basically.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a lot easier to flip the boat over upside down, take all this glass off, and then re-glass it, ferret, and then flip it back over for finishing. So today, in a few minutes here, we'll get the travel lift over it and hook the crane up.
See an eye bolt down here in
Yeah,
the keel.
yeah,
or,
the bottom of
a
the
bolt
keel.
Going through.
We'll put the sling on that to the all-terrain crane
Okay.
to stabilize this thing as we roll it, and then
And I
hold
noticed
on to it.
Noticed a whole bunch of wooden structure up here, which we can show
Yeah.
everybody in a few
Yeah,
minutes.
don't worry, that'll disappear.
Okay.
That's not part of the
thought
new
we were-
boat. So
Well, Cree, got quite a structure up here. Oh, that's
yeah,
solid.
let
it
me
goes down into the bilge too.
yeah, let
Wow.
me explain what's happening.
All right.
We're not building a condominium, and what we've done is created a structure that the boat will sit on upside down.
Okay.
That is also supporting the keel, so the keel
So
won't.
that's what the beams are down
Yeah,
below.
we'll go inside and
All
take
right.
a look at that. But the keel won't deform the shape of the hull when we
Okay.
start removing
There's
structure.
6,000 pounds of lead there.
Right.
Right, okay. So, Cree, I see that a lot of glass work's been done on deck. A lot of holes have been filled. What?
Yeah.
Where are you with all that work?
Several hundred have been filled, but and basically we're trying to achieve a boat that takes no water in.
Okay.
I mean, there's nothing more disconcerting than being a long race and have a drip 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 coming
Yeah.
onto your bunk. The hull to deck joint has been glassed on the outside now with several layers of glass, and the idea is to basically cut out a huge area of potential leak.
Because that was, well, a lap joint like this, then it
Yeah,
was
just-
bolted through, right? And
yeah,
it was just working, and
Yeah,
over
it's just
time it just started leaking.
from a manufacturing standpoint, it's a really easy joint to take care of because you don't really have to align the deck to the hull at all. You just slip it down and it's just a lap joint. So we've removed that. When we flip it over, we'll reglass the inside also, making it a real structural member there. And that'll also take out some of the bending and torsional movement of the boat.
Okay, good.
So making it more monocoque.
There's the only fasteners that'll be there for the teak rail that
Right.
we'll put back down,
Right.
which are every 8 inches, I believe, or
Right.
something like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you want to see what's happened down below?
I think that's the next logical thing. I can see down there. It looks pretty interesting. Oh, wow, Cree, I see that we've done a lot of glass work in here
Well,
in
there's-
the last 4 or 5 weeks.
Yeah, there's been a ton of work done in here, actually concentrating around the middle of the boat where we're
Okay.
supporting the keel particularly.
Yeah, I see some bulkheads that we've talked about adding, and those look beautiful.
Yeah, now those should take out all of the keel wag And as you said, we'll find out when it
Upside down.
when we roll it.
And these extend all the way up to where the pan and the hull
Come together,
the hull,
yeah.
The hull came together.
Yeah, and that laminate that was in there originally, we just grabbed by hand and yanked it out.
Just
So
the
it was
tabbing is all
just-
that was in there.
yeah,
So it
nothing.
wasn't really doing anything. Right?
Not a thing.
And then I see we've done a lot of work under here and up into the bulkheads.
Yeah,
And,
and the bulkheads tabbing back aft
Mm-hmm.
and up in this area was just non-existent. It was completely pulled away from the bulkhead.
and that's
so-
because we had panel flexing and
Yep.
stuff going on.
So we removed all that. And in here, where the main chain plate comes through, we've glassed clear past where the chain plate foundation is, so that the chain plates now are equally fastened to the hull with the laminate. So it should be pretty stiff.
Yeah, because we had a lot of oil canning. The boats are kind of known for that. And the other thing was this keel wagging, which would, you'd be sailing upwind and you could feel the floor moving around.
Yeah,
Because these boats were built pretty fast and they were pretty light boats in their time and didn't take advantage of any coring at all.
well, and
So-
at that, when they first came out, all of these bonds were good.
but they just worked and cracked and
Yeah.
caused a problem.
Right.
And we still have a few things on the list to go. I can see up here we were going to bond the shelf in, and we've talked about doing
Coring that.
coring on that to stiffen this panel up, which I was concerned about, especially at the large windows being seaworthy. So
Right.
I thought they were flexing, and that's one of the reasons we were getting window leaks.
Yep.
So I see that still needs to be done, but a lot of that work and the hull to deck joint all the way fore and aft is easier to do when it's upside down. So that's another benefit of trying to roll the boat over. Right?
Yeah, there's a lot of upside down laminating that we'll be doing. And this area we just ran out of time on it basically.
Okay.
And we can do that when we get all of the apparatus off of the hull
Oh, yeah.
and flip it back
Get the
over
condominium
again.
off of here.
Yeah, so all the forward area now is sanded, so that we can do more structure up there later on.
Jim Antrim recommended a sort of an angled arched bulkhead in here, right?
Yes.
So
and
that'll get done when we get done with the bottom.
yeah,
We'll
we'll
flip it back
probably
over.
put that bulkhead in upside down, and then the rest of the laminating will occur up there, right side up.
Did you see any other problems? I know that we were very fortunate in this boat that the steel beam under the mast was in good shape.
Oh, it's in
Really good shape.
unbelievably good shape. Yeah,
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 that's always a weak point on these boats if they got really wet.
yeah.
And,
No, it's surprisingly sturdy for its age.
yeah,
It's amazing.
and I'm in the process of manufacturing backing plates here, out there, and here.
To hold the main bulkhead.
Yeah, to grab the main bulkhead.
That'll be great.
So I think we're in pretty good shape.
Yeah. Well, we should see how all this hangs together today.
It's happening right now, from what I
Yes.
understand.
Yep.
In fact, if we don't get out of here, we'll be standing on our heads. I think everybody's ready to go.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna give you another strap that'll go through here, that'll go to the hook. But it looks like we should be able to make it on one roll. Okay? Are you ready?
There was a lot of talk, since this is such a big job, about whether to leave the boat upright or whether to take the chance and figure out how to turn it over to make it much easier to work on. One of the challenges of that is that this boat has an envelope keel. We couldn't take the keel off and then flip the basic hull. We had to do it with all the lead in there. There's 6,000 pounds of lead in the keel of this boat. So they didn't quite know if they were going to have the room in the travel lift. They didn't quite know how to do this because they've never done a boat this big. So there was a lot of discussion, a lot of to and froing about the risks of doing this. And in the end, it was decided it was worth the trouble to do this. So they built a frame on deck, and put posts down into the keel to support that. And we didn't rely on that to be part of the rolling. We're going to do it in the straps of the travel lift and with a crane attached to the bottom of the keel to a bolt here in the keel. It was very hair-raising because everybody was very nervous about it. It had never really been tried. They were worried about the stability of the crane. They were worried about the stability of the travel lift. But in the end, it turned out to be the best way to do this. It was worth the effort of building the frame. The boat was rolled successfully. Everything fit inside the travel lift. They lowered it back down. And in the end of the day, the boat's now upside down and ready to be worked on. It can be completely stripped of the old skin. One of the reasons we're putting so much effort into this is that there's a lot of racing that goes on with the Cal 40 fleet. And you have to have nice sails, you have to have nice equipment, and you need a really smooth bottom. What you might be able to get away with for a cruising boat would be completely different than this boat. This boat needs to be completely smoothed and faired. It has to be just a beautiful, fair bottom in order to be competitive in this fleet. You're really concerned about the smallest amount of drag, and anything like this bottom would have a lot of turbulence in the water, would be a lot of drag. So for us to come back in here and do it and get it as smooth as it needs to be competitive is worth the effort. Now this all looks pretty intimidating at first sight, but in reality it's not very difficult at all. There's a lot of hard labor in grinding this off. I think as you watch the process of this boat, you'll see that any of this work can be done by you and your friends. And don't be intimidated by any of the materials or the names of the materials. This is all very straightforward stuff, common in a boatyard. In fact, the individual who's been doing the lion's share of the work on the fiberglass on both the inside and will be doing a lot of the work on the outside has no experience at fiberglass work at all. He came on board with us to help us with the project, and he's learned all about the laminating. So don't be intimidated by any of what you see here. It's all stuff that can be learned. It's all stuff that you can get advice from the yard. You can get advice from friends on who've done this kind of work before.